Hello, my name is Joe Vasta, and today what we're going to talk about is this question here. Which is greater, e to the pi or pi to the e? So before you pull out your calculators, we're not going to do that. We're going to try to figure this out without calculators. And some of you might go, well, what's the point? Well, then you might want to just skip this video then. But we're going to figure this out using some calculus. So I'm going to actually pose another question here because, I mean, this is kind of hard. Maybe we could try to guess this. Which is greater, 2 cubed or 3 squared? Well, that one's pretty easy because 2 cubed happens to be 8, and 3 squared happens to be 9. So we know the answer to that one is 3 squared. So we might come over here and go, well, pi is like almost 3 and e is 2 point something, so maybe it's pi to the e. Well, we don't know yet. So we're going to go back to our question. The very first thing that we're going to do to attack this is something that is not obvious. Step 1. Let a function called f of x equal x raised to the power 1 over x. Okay, so that's a really weird function, and we're only going to consider it on the interval 0 to infinity. Step 2, you're going to take the derivative of that function. You're going to use logarithmic differentiation, so maybe you can pause the video and see if you can get the answer. Here's the answer. Step 2, there's the derivative. And it's x to the 1 over x, and in parentheses we have 1 minus ln x. On the bottom we have x squared. Now the next step we would do is to try to find any critical numbers. We set the top and bottom equal to 0 to find the critical numbers, and the bottom equaling 0 is going to give us something that is not in the domain. So it's really the top equal to 0. Maybe you can find the critical numbers. Step 3, we see that e is a critical number. Now, what does that mean? That means we could probably use the first derivative test to determine whether e is a max or a min. And you can put that on a number line and label that number line f prime. Maybe stick 1 in there and see that, oh, look, if I put 1 in there, it's going to be positive, and put 25 in for x, and you're going to find that that's going to be negative. In any case, we can move on to step 4. We see that e is a local max using the first derivative test. So I'm not going to go through all the little details of this. Step 5, because e is a local max, that means f of e is going to be greater than any other f of numbers right around e, and in particular f of e is greater than f of pi. Well, what is f of e? F of e, you plug e into the original function, so it's e raised to the 1 over e, and f of pi is pi raised to the 1 over pi. I hate saying this, but I'm going to say it. E raised to the 1 over e is greater than pi raised to the 1 over pi. And we did this without using a calculator. Now, on both sides of that inequality, I'm going to take a power. The power that I'm going to take on both sides of that inequality is going to be the e pi power. The reason I did that is because when I have a power to a power, you multiply the powers together, and over here the e's are going to cancel, and you'll just get an e to the pi. And over here the pi's are going to cancel, and you're going to get pi raised to the e. And so e to the pi is greater than pi to the e. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, Joe, there's like problems in the world. People are hungry. Lots of people are walking around in masks. There's lots of hand sanitizer being used, lockdowns. Yes, there are problems. But this is a problem I can solve. Think of this as escapism. Oh, FYI, e to the pi is about 23. It's like 23.14. And pi to the e is 22.459. So just in case you were curious. I hope you enjoyed this video.